All right. Trump sort of turning the tables on the Republican National Convention yesterday. You may remember that Donald Trump fell asleep multiple times during the convention when other people were speaking, including J.D. Vance, including his own son, Donald Trump Jr. We now have multiple reports of Trump putting the crowd to sleep during his endless, meandering, disorienting 93-minute acceptance speech last night. And hilariously, multiple reports about that. Here is one from CBS News.
And balloons.
Nora, there's energy down here now, but during that speech, there definitely were some folks dozing off. A few lawmakers snuck out early.
And this corroborated by NBC News as well, pointing out it was a long speech and people were sleeping
along. They were sort of enthralled into what he was saying. It was a long speech, as you have said. It was the longest, I think, ever of any convention of modern history. And there were at times people had to sit back down. But for the most part, I started asking people, what'd you think of the speech? They said they liked the speech. People acknowledged it was very long. Some people fell asleep that were around us. And again, people sat down.
There you go. Some people did fall asleep. And then we have a very, very funny shot here of a woman who is nodding and doing everything she can to stay awake.
And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA.
Okay. So listen, it is not that we did the substance of the speech in the first segment. It is not the most substantive thing that people were sleeping, but it is a reminder of the fact that there is a lot of performance happening here in general. And there is the performance that Trump is so interesting and we think he's so great and everything he says is so important and meaningful and every word must be listened to because he's almost a deified type figure. He's almost a deity. And then it's just like so damn boring and he's always going on for so long that people start falling asleep. And similarly, Trump's falling asleep is a reminder that while his story is this is the most electrifying and important and explosive Republican Party, the MAGA movement is the best, most titillating movement that we've ever seen, just electrifying in every way. Trump also can't be bothered to stay awake, even when it's his vice presidential pick that's speaking, even when it's Donald Trump Jr., his own son, that is speaking. So the falling asleep indicative both ways, when it's Trump sleeping or when it's the crowd sleeping through Trump's speech. Just a reminder that there is so much posturing here. There is so much performance here at every level. Earlier in the week, we talked about how J.D. Vance almost certainly hates Trump. He has a record of years of saying things similar to Tucker Carlson that they really don't like this guy. But now we have the appearance of loyalty, the appearance of liking Trump, and it's all about appearances at the end of the day. When it comes to, I physically cannot actually stay awake during this nonsense, we start to see through the facade that's been created, but it is all about appearances because the reality is Trump doesn't actually care about any of these people beyond the extent to which they are useful to him. That's the prism through which Trump sees all of these people, even his son's own speech. And similarly for the crowd, yes, yeah, and remember, this is not a rally crowd. These are delegates and Republican Party insiders and the entire thing. They don't particularly like Trump. They don't particularly find his speeches actually compelling. And that led to people just falling asleep the entire time. Data brokers are constantly collecting huge amounts of information about what you do online, your address, phone number, email, financial info, even your political affiliation. And they sell that information to other companies. The FBI will sometimes even buy data in bulk to get information about Americans without a warrant. Your ex-girlfriend, your boss, anyone out there can use the publicly available data on search sites to find information about you. It's super easy. And worst of all, these data broker systems get hacked all the time, which really puts your data at risk, which is why you can end up getting scam calls and emails and the whole thing. The solution to all of this is our sponsor, Incogni. Incogni sends data removal requests to all major data brokers who are required by law to remove the information upon request. If any of the information stays online, Incogni will follow up about removal, and Incogni keeps you updated with details every step so you know what's going on and when the info is removed. What Incogni can accomplish is amazing. I use it myself. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and you'll get 60% off with the code Pacman. The link is down below.